Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got some pretty intense news for you today, and it's one that's been making waves in New Zealand. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what's this about? Well, let's dive in. A soldier based in Linton is facing a court-martial next week, and this is the first of its kind in New Zealand's history. It's a case that's wrapped in secrecy, and I can tell you it's got a lot of people talking. Let's break down who this soldier is. They're linked to far-right groups, specifically the Dominion Movement and Action Zealandia. These are groups that have been in the news before, but this is the first time we've seen someone from these groups face such serious charges in the military. The soldier is accused of 17 charges under the Armed Forces Discipline Act. That's a lot, right? And the charges include espionage and possessing objectionable material. That's pretty heavy stuff, especially for someone in the military. Here's where it gets interesting. The case is shrouded in secrecy, with suppression orders keeping the soldier's name, the foreign country involved, and some of the prosecution's expert witnesses confidential. That's a big deal because usually court cases are open to the public. But in this case, the information is being kept under wraps. RNZ is actually opposing these suppression orders, and there's a suppression hearing scheduled for Monday morning before the court-martial even begins. So we're going to be watching that closely when the charges were laid. That's been a long time, and legal experts have been noting the unusual nature of this prosecution. Some have even called it unique because of the extensive suppression orders. Retired law professor Bill Hodge has been talking about the concerns around the secrecy. He suggests that the information held by the armed forces might be of public interest, but he also emphasized that military courts are historically fair and transparent, even if they have different considerations regarding national security. The court-martial will be heard by a panel of senior military officers rather than a jury. That's a big difference from civilian courts, where juries are the norm. Experienced court-martial counsel David Pawson has noted that this case is unprecedented, even during the Cold War. He's saying that the system is robust and transparent, but the suppression decisions are based on open justice. So it's a balance between keeping the public informed and protecting national security, pointing out that suppression arguments in military courts might include matters that are not typically applicable in civilian courts. For example, things like national security. That's a big deal because it's not something we see in regular court cases. It's a different set of rules, and that's what makes this case so unique. They won't face the death penalty, which was removed from military law in 1989. So the punishment would be something like losing rank or a lengthy term in military prison. That's a big deal because it shows the severity of the charges, but also that the legal system has evolved over time to be more humane. I want to take a moment to talk about the implications of this case. First, it's a reminder that even within our military, there are individuals who may be involved in activities that go against the values of the armed forces. It's also a case that raises questions about transparency and the balance between national security and the public's right to know. We're seeing a lot of suppression orders here, which is unusual, but at the same time, the legal system is trying to protect sensitive information, which is a serious matter. The fact that the case has been going through pretrial hearings since 2020 shows that it's been a long process. It's also a case that's been shrouded in secrecy, which might be making it even more challenging for the soldier to prepare their defense. But again, the legal system is designed to be fair, even in these situations. And while this soldier's actions are serious, they don't necessarily reflect the views of the entire military, far-right groups, and the balance between national security and transparency. It's also a case that's being watched closely by legal experts, the public, and even the media, with RNZ opposing the suppression orders. What's next? Well, the suppression hearing is on Monday, and then the court-martial will begin next week. We'll be keeping an eye on that. It's going to be a big deal, and I think it's important for us to stay informed. Whether you're a fan of the military, interested in legal cases, or just curious about what's happening in New Zealand, this is a case that's definitely worth following. And as always, if you have any thoughts or questions about this case, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Until next time, stay informed and keep watching. End of script.